Okay, so quick spoiler warning preamble for this episode. If you fit the extremely niche position of doing a blind playthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles and your party members are between, I don't know, levels 10 and level 50 or something, some of the content displayed in the gameplay portion of this podcast could be considered a spoiler. Other than that, if you're worried about that, just listen to the audio and look away from your screen. But it shouldn't be an issue otherwise. So with that out of the way, enjoy the episode.
Nice. Throat clear. I'll clear mine.
Well, now that our throats are clear, welcome everyone to Video Games Are Hard, episode 35. Guestless episode. It's just me and Sid.
Hey.
And you may or may not have heard me do a preamble. I thought about saying a preamble where I'm like, the gameplay I'm showing here might be a small spoiler. I don't care. I might, whatever. Hey, what's up, Sid?
If it's there, it's there.
Yeah,
Hi,
if it is there, what I'm saying now is going to be super meta, but there you go.
Yeah. Hi, Trey. I'm here.
Hello.
This is the hour and a half of the week where Trey and I pretend to be friends.
Yeah, we just come in here, we're like, all right, let's warm ourselves up, pretend that we're friends again. Here we go.
This week, we could have a fight, though.
Ooh, really?
Because last week we started a passive-aggressive fight during the paper episode.
Oh, dude, that was all because you know why that happened.
I do know why it happened.
But with no guest to worry about acknowledging, how could it possibly happen again?
Yeah, it's true. I can't turn to my my desk and be like, "Oh, sup, desk? You want to talk about something else?" He just finished talking about Xenoblade.
To my desk than Trey.
He just finished talking about Xenoblade. I need to turn to something else instead of.
See,
you know what? It's not that I'm not interested by the Xenoblade talk. You know.
No, I know what it is. You're like worried about not acknowledging the guest enough.
No, it's not even that. Like paper was talking at his own pace. You know, he was jumping in every now and then. I talked about 96 Shines for 20 minutes. Whatever the fuck happened that episode. People liked it.
I think someone, like a shout out to a viewer in my chat back when I streamed more often, the L was like, was that sarcasm about having a script for each episode? And yes, it is sarcasm, don't worry.
That was a horribly scripted episode if it was scripted.
But no, the joke was that was the one episode we didn't script.
Oh, that was the joke.
So it's like, yeah, we literally type up pages and pages for every one of these except for that one.
Yeah. And we just do one take, like SM Loader.
We're better than SM Loader, not even 2 takes.
Yeah. So yeah, we're here. Last episode happened.
It was fun. I liked talking to the still current 120 shine world record holder.
You know what? Guy didn't get it yet.
Not yet, but by the time we upload this one, who knows?
But Nindide did get the world record for any percent back.
Yeah, we better mention that pretty early on. Really, really close to the 113 mark. I wonder if 113 is possible.
Yeah, Super Mario Sunshine 80%, rebroken, not quite 113, but it's not in the new 80% history progression video stat tracker thing. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, so for those of you who are fans of those data visualization videos you might have seen on YouTube, I've actually seen quite a few of those for the past couple years. Particularly, there was like a channel named like Abacaba or something.
Okay.
And they had like a full history of chess ELO rankings or whatever. They made some other videos too. But anyway, there's one of those sort of visualized data videos for any percent history of Sunshine, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm on it. That's nice.
Sid being 7th, it's confirmed.
Dude, it's funny going. It was an interesting way to go down memory. Like, I've seen those stat trackers for like YouTube subscribers. It's like, oh, when did PewDiePie come on the scene? And then
those were the really popular ones. Those were some big videos around like the T-Series PewDiePie war era.
Yeah, and then like T-Series slightly going ahead of PewDiePie and all that stuff.
You know what? I think that whole war, whenever that ended, was like officially the point where people realized that like subscriber count doesn't really matter in current day YouTube. Because honestly, you could have a ton of subscribers, but like no one bother watching your videos, or vice versa. It just kind of depends on if your videos get picked up by the algorithm, or if they're like, if you're underrated or overrated. I don't know. It just kind of depends.
Well, it's the same kind of thing with Twitch viewers, kind of.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah, no, to a greater extent, Twitch followers almost mean nothing.
Yeah, unless you have like millions, in which case.
Well, yeah, at that point, it's like, well, you're guaranteed like at least 1,000 or so if you have like 1 million followers.
But yeah, there's definitely not an exact correlation between everything. But watching I've seen the subscriber videos of the progression, like the bar graph progression videos. I don't know what the fuck they actually call them, but but it was nice. It was funny watching the Sunshine one because actually being involved in it, I was like being brought down memory lane with this time-lapsed footage of just like bars getting shorter. It was, and like new names popping up with comments beside them, and
the comments are the best part.
Yeah,
I'm so glad that was on there.
But the first time I watched it, I didn't even look at the comments, except for the one comment that Shadow Mario 27 made when he broke the Japanese wall in like 2016 or 2017 or whatever. And then JJ
was like, "Why bother with the Japanese wall? Just go around it."
Yeah, there are some nuggets in there, but as a whole, Sunshine comments are lame.
I thought mine were pretty good for the most part.
Yeah.
My first world record comments was shoutouts to Chad Warden.
Shoutouts to Chad Warden.
Speaking of Chad Warden, we'll talk about PS5 stuff maybe later. But back to the video we're talking about. I think the number one complaint that most of the older players had, like Ice Windowsill, is there's definitely quite a few missing players in the early pre-SRC era, understandably, because I think that the data they used was entirely from whatever records were stored on the SRC like official leaderboards. And not every player who played pre-GBS bothered submitting to that. Like, I think some Hidden Power 13's older times weren't even on there, so.
Yeah, there was something about, like, Pyro Shade's 6th place was, like, went unranked or something. I saw like, random comments on it.
Many people's pre-GBS times, people didn't bother submitting, so it's kind of weird early on. But, I mean, all the world records are there, so it's fine.
Back to the comments. So all the good people comments are cool, most of the time. I hate comments where, especially watching in retrospect, like having so many years pass and looking at like Bounty Boy's comments back when he had a 116 world record, or Dide's comments, or like even nowadays or recent comments where they're just like updating you on how the run went. Just like, oh, I got 2 extra cycles, King Boo. My PD was shit. I died in Rico 4. Like reading those, I'm like, lame. I just
people tweet that too. Like they'll tweet their PB out, and it's like -10 Pianta, -15 Penna. It's like, who cares? Just celebrate your achievement and fix those the next time. You know, don't update us on that.
I don't think I've ever tweeted out a 96 shine PB and been like, oh, but my now I'm gonna go look at my Twitter and
dude. What if in my sub 3 tweet I was just like, oh, 7 extra fruit machine cycles?
That'd be so lame. That'd be the lamest tweet.
No release cycle, 7 extra fruits, terrible run.
But yeah, there's a bunch of people to do that. I love the JJ tweet where so in 2017 there was a Japanese wall so Dide had record, dude. 2017 and 2018, watching the time lapse of it, it's just stagnant essentially for almost a year and a half.
And I kind of remember that there was a period where really no top level players were playing 80%.
Yeah.
Or if they were, they just weren't PBing. I know I wasn't playing during that whole time, like late 2017, I was only playing 120, so that's why I wasn't doing any runs.
But you were still in the top 10. Like you were
like I was just like stagnant in the top 10, but like I wasn't improving my 80% time.
Yeah, it's interesting to see just like literally all of the top 10 except for every now and then a Japanese player. Literally it goes like 5 months and nothing happens. And then Yamata improved his PB by a second. And I'm just like nothing moved. It just went, oh, now his time turned yellow and it turned into a 1:15:13.
That was a revolutionary second.
And I'm just sitting there going like, ugh. And then like some Japanese player bopped another Japanese player in the wall. I think it was Nanashi. And it like literally nothing happened until Shadow Mario broke the wall, and then
No, we were thinking like JJ was the one who brought competition back.
Yeah, because JJ went around the wall.
JJ beat my time by like 1 second, and he was like, yes, finally, I wasn't playing any games except for this one until I got it, and then after that, some more times came in.
See, that's why the comments are cool, because looking at that comment, I'm like, oh, he was only playing this game for so long, because that was the comment in the video. But like, if his comment was, oh, my one extra cycle King Boo, Manta was garbage, like, I don't know.
Who cares?
Well, whatever.
Manta's garbage is like 90% of runs.
I have like top 5 comments of all time on the board.
Oh, dude, you have probably the greatest comment on there with your top 7 time.
Yeah, I got 7th place with like a mid 119 before GBS or before EYG. Mid 119 before GBS. Holy shit.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And it was like, what was it? It was oh, I bobbed Yossi. Fuck that guy.
No, the first one was like hashtag Canada hype or something.
Hashtag Canada hype is the worst.
Because Sid would always do that was like his gimmick. He would just always have like a hashtag of the stream.
Yeah.
He had like hashtag cited as a scurb or like hashtag. There were a million of them, but
yeah, every day I tried to think of a new hashtag or just like kept the same. I don't know. I was a weirdo.
Dude, what if we had like the hashtag of the podcast episode?
Wow, that'd be so
hype. Would that get lame fast?
We'd have to. I don't know. It would have
you
to.
You gotta think of it on the spot. All right, hashtags are lame. All right,
hashtags are lame. Sometimes they're good.
Sometimes they're dope.
But yeah, it's. Watching that video, it made me realize how dominant Nindide was. I watched it like 6 times. I don't know why. I just like started at random places. I never knew that Danny was top 10.
I think Danny said that his placing on the video was higher than it appeared because like 1 or 2 people was missing, but still I was surprised by that too.
Yeah. Like, so like Huff was 6th place peak. Quan was 6th place peak.
Yep.
I was 7th place. My favorite part of the video, and like Trey and I already talked about it yesterday, so this is all reiterating the same thing. But the fact that watching the video, Paper Ario's world record, our guest from last week, his world record was for what 12 hours.
Yeah,
and
less than a day.
And in the video, he doesn't even get to 1st place. Like he's 6th place, and then he gets the world record and starts moving up. But the only way you can tell. Like, the only way I know he got world record is that he got world record, but the only way you know by the video is that, like, Tobo and Samu, like, vibrate. Like, their names vibrate in place. Just, like, they hint at maybe moving down, and then they just go back up.
Yeah, so, like, basically Tobo and Samu both bought Paper's time before that could even, like, show up for a day. So yeah, when you first see Paper, it's, like, 3rd place, then, like, zoom down again.
Yeah, it's just insane. It's just like, oh, he got first. No, he's 3rd. It's like
pretty
absolutely
funny.
No time. And like Nindide was super dominant starting in 2017. Or you know what's funny? So I rewatched it multiple times. Did you know this fun fact? Didae's been top 10 for almost half a decade now.
I feel like I kind of knew that, but I never, saw a visualization of it until now.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew it was at least 2 years for that one time, but beyond that, it was even more, I guess.
He entered the top 10 for the first time at the end of June in 2015. And it is mid-June 2020. So it is almost the anniversary.
Then Bouncy Boy took it back for a while.
Well, yeah. But
then he had like his big streak after the Bouncy Boy era.
Yeah. It's really interesting to go watch, like just pay attention to certain things. Like it was so dead for a year, like a year and a half, and it was so dead. And then JJ, Ouija, all those guys came out of or not came out of nowhere, but they started playing. And now like Equivocal Genius shows up at the end of the video. Oat Flaker, a lot of names you hadn't seen before. Another good bit. And I'm trying not to bore you, Trey, by reiterating the same things. Reiterating the same things I was talking about yesterday. But so like Samu, obviously near the like 2012 and all, like in that era of Super Mario Sunshine, he was top 2 and doing the Tobo battle, and everybody knows about the world record history. Blah blah blah. Trey made the video. Blah blah blah. Quota. In 2017 or 2018 or something, there's like a frame where Samu comes back onto top 10 and then immediately gets knocked back down. So it's like if you have no context of Super Mario Sunshine and watch that video and just be like, oh, Samu's top 2, Samu, oh, world record for a pretty consistent amount of time, and then he just like gradually gets lowered off of the top 10, and then randomly in 2018, if you're paying attention to the bottom of the screen for like a 3-second period, you can see Samu's name pop back up and then go back down and then disappear again. It's just like, I don't know. There's just some really weird, funny things if you pay attention enough.
I think it'd be cool if it was formatted more like a line graph versus a bar graph. Or no, maybe that wouldn't work too well because like the times just sort of get better. See, the first video I watched in this style forever ago was like the chess ranking one.
Yep.
And like ELO rankings go up and down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool seeing like, oh, this player got better and worse and like they're like switching off. Whereas a stagnant PB can only go up, which is like a bit of a hindrance to that, but it's still pretty cool.
Well, when you said the line graph, it made me think of the recent Shift Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Oh, right. He had a line graph sort of thing in there, but I think, I don't know, I guess that format doesn't work as well with just PBs, which only go up.
True. True.
But, you know, it could still work, just not as well as if it goes up and down. Which is why, actually, it'd be cool to make a video. I think that guy actually had other videos, like, of Mario Kart Wii stuff, which is sacrilege as a Double Dash player, but you could do one for, like, the average finish rankings for Double Dash, which essentially, like, the top rankings on the, or any rank on the players page for any Mario Kart, Double Dash included, has it so it's like your ranking is based on average finish, which is the rank you have for every track averaged up, essentially. Okay. So that can fluctuate up and down, so that could be interesting to watch.
If it was a line graph.
Yeah, in the line graph format. Well, I don't know. It may something, either way, it'd look really cool. Okay.
True.
I'm no data expert, but they can make it work.
I don't know. A lot of those stat videos would be interesting. I don't know. I didn't think I would appreciate the Sunshine one as much as I did, but then again, I was involved, so I was just like, at first I turned it on, being like, eventually my name's going to show up.
Eventually, it's not just going to be Theodore.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean, other than like the missing older times, which would be really hard to track down at this point, it was pretty well done.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, good. Shout out to Data Shark for making that video. I guess I'll link it in the description if I remember to.
The last thing is J. Cool's involvement in it.
Oh yeah, you better mention that.
Yeah, J. Cool. So before Hacked File was actually allowed, J. Cool, I think we talked about it on the podcast.
Well, so his run was done with 2 file, but it was grandfathered in.
Even though grandfathered in doesn't mean that, but sure.
Whatever, but you know what it means.
It was allowed. Because so J. Cool's time when he got it was 2 file, and it wasn't allowed on the leaderboard, and then it just kind of was in this visualization, and it said hacked file when nobody else did hacked file, even though his wasn't even hacked file. So
yeah,
I don't know, it just randomly popped up. I'm like, oh, J. Cool's 4th, because it's really funny in the context of being a runner around during that time where J. Cool got the record and everybody was just, or not the record, he got his personal best, and it was like 4th place at the time if it was allowed on the leaderboard, but it wasn't allowed on the leaderboard. And like a day after, Shadow Mario got a PB or something, and he was spamming in chat. I don't know if he was using mic on stream, probably not. He was spamming in chat when everybody was like, oh, great job on top 5 or 6th or whatever place he ended up getting. He was just like, J. Cool does not count. He was just spamming in chat, J. Cool
I remember that.
And you know what? Apparently J. Cool did count according to this visualization.
Eventually, when we allowed his run in, even though it's not allowed, like if you did that now.
Yeah, you can see the shift. Like when hacked file gets allowed in that video, everybody like either switches over to peach file or like it's almost everybody immediately, like Ouija and JJ and all that stuff. So
you also see a shift away from average Trey playing the game.
True.
Coincidence? No.
No.
No, I'm just not motivated right now. I was gonna say something else. What was it?
I don't know.
Oh, I lost my train of thought. It was something with J. Cool. Oh yeah, it was yeah, it really shows how if history went as this video sort of portrays, maybe Trey and EasyScape would have mentioned it in their EasyScape video. Remember about the how this 2-year-old record was beaten?
Yeah.
Not mentioning J. Cool. It's like, what the fuck? J. Cool is a 114. Why didn't you mention him?
Yeah, it was like in the comments. Yeah, that was like in the comments below.
Yeah, I think it was like in a Reddit thread as well.
Yeah. I remember
like, well, it's not allowed, but I mean, now it is allowed, so.
Dude, I'm kind of glad that it's just all allowed. Like, I looked at the video and I was just like, yeah, okay, fine. Like, I'm glad that it's just gone.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
all of that
I'm glad we
gone.
can leave that in the past. People will still every now and then bring up stuff about timing, but it's hopefully it's just over now.
Speaking of timing, we were reading the comments in the visualization video, and one of CAF's world records has I don't know what the first part of the comment is, but then the second part is a pace bin. And,
yeah, I love that pace bin.
And he linked the pace bin in his comment, and I was just like, "What is this pace bin?" And I typed it out because it was just linked in the comment during this visualization, and I opened it, and it was such a weird time capsule of a pace bin from 2015 when CAF had the record. He posted a pace bin in his comment about RS versus FS, which is reset timing versus file select. Huh?
When that was a huge deal.
Yeah, yeah. When reset timing versus file select was a massive deal, and like because we all shifted over to reset timing or to file select versus reset timing, which is a 7-second difference. And it was funny to like talk yesterday about how it was more dramatic for the community itself, or there was more drama around the shift from file select or from reset timing to file select than from file select to hacked file or peach timing or whatever.
At least like, so you mean after it was put into place, there was less backlash about it?
Yeah. Because
yeah, I agree with that.
Like once we did the vote for reset timing versus file select, there was still heated. Japan wasn't on board. Everybody was mad over like 7 seconds. There's like
it was so funny.
The at the end of the pace bin, Cathalon like goes, you know what? You spent more time reading this less time reading this pace bin than you have watching the first 7 seconds over and over again. Like it's over 7 seconds of nothing.
Yeah, dude, that was his zinger. It was like, you have read this for shorter than you've spent cumulatively seeing that 7 seconds over and over again. It's like, damn, dude. Compare that to like the literal minutes you save with hacked file.
It's an interesting pace bin. It's definitely of the time. Like he's talking about how Yamata and Tobo are wait, what did he say? He said Japan and Tobo are no longer the best at the game. That's what he said.
It was like Tobo and Japan are no longer the best in the community.
It's just like
it's like wait, Tobo and Japan. That seems kind of redundant.
And then later he's like Yamata and Tobo. So like Yamata and Tobo are like top 3 at the time.
Oh, so he was basically calling Yamata Japan.
Yeah, essentially. I think he meant to say Yamata and typed Japan. I don't know why.
Whatever.
That was my theory. But yeah, it is funny to see that in the pace bin though, he said the top 10 was 7 Western runners and 3 Japanese runners. And Trey and I actually looked at the leaderboard yesterday and was just like, oh yeah, the top 10 is again. Like it wasn't like this for the entire time in between 2015 and 2020, but it's once again 7 Western players and 3 Japanese players in the top 10. So that's kind of cool.
And no European players, but still Europe, right?
Year of Europe 2016. Dutch J's
every year since the year 2016 has been Year of Europe.
Hashtag Year of Europe for okay, sure, guys. Whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that people actually we went through with allowing hacked file after all the drama that 7 seconds caused. Like people weren't around for like the 2015 Skype days when that whole argument was happening. But it was pretty nuts.
It was dramatic. Like
it was definitely dramatic, especially in the context of what we have now. It's like, dude, why was everyone so mad?
It's so funny to think back to, like, reading that pacement. I'm like, dude, people gave too much of a shit about this 7 seconds.
Oh, and did you mention the fact that Kaplan mentioned that I think was also true, where the Japanese players were claiming, well, the game was made in Japan, so we get to make the rules, so we got to use reset.
What was his name? It was a name I didn't remember. It was like Ryuzu?
Oh, right, Raisu. Like Ryisu, I think.
Yeah, I think that was it. I have never heard of that Japanese player, and apparently he was saying something along the lines of, "Oh, this game was made in Japan, and Japan was the first like speedrun community for it, so we essentially get final say on all these decisions."
And then Kaplan's like, "Wait a minute, but I have the record, so listen up."
But then later on, it's just like, it doesn't matter who has the record. Western has more players or something. Like, it's a vote thing. I don't know.
Oh, is that what he said?
I think so. He didn't go like, I have the record, but you know what? At the time, he had the record.
He did have the record, though. He could have said that.
Yeah. But yeah, there was less drama switching to hacked file in the community. There was more like speedrun drama as a whole. Like nobody outside of the SMS community cared about the transition to file select from reset timing, but there were a lot of people putting their 2 cents in when hacked file became a thing, and we talked about it on the podcast a few months ago.
Yep.
And but like in the community, it was the exact opposite, where it like people didn't care at all when well, I don't know, a few people care, but not it didn't become a whole hullabaloo, as you say.
True. 7 or 5 years ago was definitely a hullabaloo.
Yeah, for sure.
When
that was a hullabaloo.
Really, probably wasn't warranted.
and as you pointed out yesterday, there was a hullabaloo about adding some sort of timing method that skipped the cutscene for the past 5 years.
Yeah, the people were complaining about race file and 2 file for a while, including me. But then hacked file came around, and it's like, I mean, not everyone likes it, but you can at least be okay with it because the gameplay's still there. So
I like it. I think it's fine, but
I'm indifferent to it. I think it's better for the community as a whole, but I don't know. It's not really my thing.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just cool options that aren't garbage.
Yeah,
that's all I'm down for. But yeah, that's our timing discussion. That
it always comes back somehow.
It always comes back to timing. It always does. It's Sunshine. Hopefully we'll leave it behind. But you know what? It's just our fallback. When we're talking about Sunshine, it's like, what was the biggest drama inducing? Like, sure, there was Bouncy Boy versus Milk back in the day. Like, there's some drama in the SMS community.
Bouncy Boy was always so mad that Milk was a mod, even though he's like, why am I not a mod? This is bullshit.
Yeah. The point is, there's some SMS drama. But like, the biggest drama is just the everlasting effect of, hey, how are we going to skip this cutscene, bro?
Yeah.
That's just.
But now it's pretty much over, so we can move on.
Yeah, we can move on.
Probably.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, I was gonna get to Xenoblade later, but did you? So you watched the PS5 thing?
No,
Neither did I.
So, actually, I guess I could talk about this. So I did, like I was talking about the other week. I did, like I was doing a blind glitchless OOT or semi-blind glitchless OOT that we talked about 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And we were talking about doing Metroid Prime Echoes at the end of that podcast and stuff like that. So I've been on this.
We got a few games in mind. Actually, let me just give like a brief, not story, just thing going on the next couple weeks.
Tell me a story, Trey.
So actually, like Father's Day will be the first time I'm going to my parents' house like in 6 months. Because I actually got like a 4-day weekend that weekend, plus it's Father's Day. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go there, have a Father's Day lunch probably, and while up there, I can retrieve some games I have there that Sid and I and others could potentially race, like a semi-blind race type deal.
Yeah,
should be fun.
I'm, you know what? I've been a big fan of these semi-blind races.
Yeah, the Ocarina of Time ones looked pretty fun, and I was, we were thinking Twilight Princess and Metroid Prime 2 Echoes so far.
And Wind Waker. There are
Wind Waker, I'm iffy on. That could take a little bit too long.
Oh, it will take too long.
It'll be like at least 13 hours for me, easy.
I like it's funny thinking back to the OOT race where I remembered a fair bit and still lost a lot of time in like Water Temple and shit. But Wind Waker, I don't know. I feel like every time I enter the Earth Temple, I get lost.
Yeah, once you get to
or the Wind Temple.
Actually, no, the Earth one's not too bad. The Wind Temple's where you get lost.
That one, yeah.
But yeah, I feel like as far as like the first few dungeons, I'm pretty good at Wind Waker. Like the Forest one, Dragon Roost, and the Tower of the Gods.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I guess it's more so like the in-between stuff in late game. Like the Triforce quest, that's going to take forever. And then grinding for rupees.
Yeah, because we're going to do the standard definition version because nobody wants to hook up their Wii U.
Well, yeah, I don't even have a Wii U.
Okay, well, perfect.
But you know what? If I had a Wii U, I probably wouldn't want to hook it up anyway. Yeah,
I see my on my shelf in my bedroom, my Wii U tablet is sitting there, and you know that meme picture of the dusty Wii U tablet?
That's your Wii U tablet.
It doesn't look unlike that. It's not as excessive, but it doesn't look unlike it.
Dude, I'm so glad I skipped out on the Wii U.
You know what? I'm glad I played Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
You know what? I'm glad you played it too.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for that.
It's funny because I bought Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for like $35 because nobody bought the Wii U, and they were just like, "Oh fuck! Everybody that has the Wii U, buy this, please," because it started off at like $70 being Canadian or whatever, however many years ago, and I bought it and played it, and I was like, "Oh, that was a fun time." And then when the Switch came out and they remastered it for the Switch, it was $80. This past week. So it's been remastered on the Switch for $80 with like a new Funky Kong mode or something.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, there's like
Wait, is that where the new Funky mode meme comes from?
Maybe.
I thought it was a different game, like an older game, but it could have been that one.
Yeah, there's a new Funky mode it came out 2 years ago. Funky mode for Donkey Kong Country.
Well, I think the Funky mode itself is worth $80 Canadian.
It's no.
Yeah, if you ask me.
I've looked at it in the store. I'm like, dude, it'd be so nice if you got returns as well, because I love returns, and Donkey Kong Country Returns is sick. But like Funky mode, they made it $80, and then this past week until June 16th. So I guess when this podcast drops, you could still get it on sale. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is now on sale for 30% off for like in Canada, it's like $55, and I'm like, still no, like. 5 years ago, I bought it for $35. 5 years later, I'm not going to buy it for $55.
But it's on a console people actually have, Sid.
Yeah, that's the issue.
It's worth more.
I want less people to have the Switch.
Yeah, maybe if the Switch wasn't as popular, Zelda wouldn't still be $60. Or is it? I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, no, like everything is still
like Mario, $60. Zelda, those never go down.
No, they don't.
Until the next generation comes out.
The DLC for Breath of the Wild is still, well, again, in Canada, $30. So it's probably $20 in America. Or 25. And I'm just like, I don't want to.
But hey, Tetris 99 is still free.
It's still free. And less and less people play it by the week.
Are you still playing it at all?
Every now and then. I turn it on.
Oh, yeah, I guess I do see like your little thing in the corner every now and then.
In between my Korok seed hunts, I play some Tetris.
Oh yeah, where are you in that?
I haven't played much.
Okay.
Every time I turn on Breath of the Wild, I make sure to find one Korok seed before turning it off. That's kind of where I'm at. So I'm at around 650 still. I don't know where.
And that's DLC-less, guideless, totally legit.
Yeah, totally legit.
That's about 4 times as many as I ever got.
I'm working on it. I have some complaints about that game, and
it's
not.
I think I've heard these complaints, haven't I?
Yeah, everybody's heard these complaints, but
combat's kind of lame.
I'm gonna reference a tweet, and then I'm gonna talk about the tweet, and then I'm gonna go back to why I mentioned the glitchless runs.
Okay.
So there was a tweet that was put out by Charlie DeKing. He's a Smash Ultimate player. We are acquaintances, I feel.
I don't recognize that username.
Okay. I don't know.
I'm just letting you know.
He he put out a tweet saying there's a lot of people saying that the soundtrack for Breath of the Wild is bad.
Oh
nowadays.
yeah, that tweet, yeah.
Like they're coming out of the woodwork being like, "Oh, the Breath of the Wild soundtrack is dog shit," and he's just sitting there going like, "Are you crazy?" And I'm sitting there going like, I've said something similar. I've never said that the soundtrack for Breath of the Wild is bad. I just don't like that there's very little of it.
You would rather it didn't go for like the ambient approach and just had music wherever you were?
It would be nice. Every now and then I enter like a town because there's like when you're in Ganon's castle and Haytno and I don't know, fighting a stone talus or whatever, there's music playing and it's nice music. And then you get back to the like you beat the boss or you leave the town and you're back into the wild looking for Korok seeds like I've been doing for the past however many hours in that game. And it's just like nothing. Every now and then you get like a little piano stroke, you know?
Yeah, you'll be running, it's like, do-do-do.
And you're just like, oh, this is a Zelda game. And then you're just like, okay, now I have to go like fight a moblin or something. But it'd be nice if there was a little, like when you enter Haytno and look for a Korok seed or just like enter anywhere that has a Korok seed that has music, it's just kind of nice to do. Like there are so many Korok seeds in Hyrule Castle or Ganon's Castle or whatever you want to call it. And it's nice looking for those because there's actually music playing.
Yeah, music. People underestimate how important a game soundtrack is.
Yeah.
Or like not even soundtrack. So the thing about Breath of the Wild is it doesn't have the most memorable soundtrack. It has really good sound design though.
Yes. It has
because
really
like
good sound
like the sound effects, like they always feel like they make sense. The little piano notes are nice when you're running around or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's very few like memorable tracks that are actually in it.
I like to use the analogy of I don't think Minecraft is amazing. Like the Minecraft analogy of its music is just like, oh, Minecraft's one song is great, you know?
Oh, there's multiple Minecraft songs.
But it's like the one song where you're out in the, I don't know, you know the one song that plays when you're out.
Yeah. Are there multiple of those though?
Are there?
I think so, like multiple different little pieces that play.
Maybe, but they're very...
But like they all sort of blend together. You're right.
There's the one that you know, the one that everybody who's
I can picture it in my head right now.
Yeah, there's the one that you know is just like, oh, that song is nice, and then it's there for like 15 seconds, maybe 20 seconds, and then it's just gone, and you're just like, oh, okay, and then you just keep going. It's like that in Breath of the Wild. That's how I feel about that. But
yeah,
whatever. You can just.
It's not for everyone, but. It is a great way to have to put in less effort into the soundtrack, I guess.
Should we talk about Donkey's dunk view of Sunshine?
Oh, I totally forgot about that. Actually, my brother texted me if I saw that video yesterday. I was like, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. The main thing I'm surprised by, well, I guess I've been around the Sunshine sphere enough to not really be surprised anymore. But it is interesting how people's perception of the game now versus a decade ago is so drastically different.
Yeah.
Because a decade ago, if this dunk view came out a decade ago, it would probably be shitting on the game. I mean, I don't want to like speak for what Donkey's opinion would be, but like, let's be honest.
Buy his Donkey toys.
Like, I feel like a decade ago, it was much cooler to shit on Sunshine. But nowadays, it's like, oh, remember like those bright and colorful levels and the fucking... all the good parts of it, and not the bad parts, even though there are bad parts, let's be honest.
You can tell that we speedrun the game because we can't list things that are good about Sunshine.
It's like, wait, why is this game fun again?
Yeah, it's just like, what?
Okay, so it has good movement. Yeah, what else is there? I guess Mario fucking, I don't know.
The music.
I think the soundtrack was good. I don't know.
Like, that's what Donkey was talking about. He's like talking about how good the soundtrack was, and it's funny to go from Trihex's bot command. Yeah, his bot command of like, oh, it only has one theme, tropical, and then go to
one theme. It has like the gimmick with Flood. Oh, but Cappy's sick.
Yeah,
totally not a gimmick. It's so sick.
And then you go to Donkey's video like 3 years later, and he's just like, "Man, this one theme tropical, but they spread it out so well, and there's so many different ways to look at a tropical theme." And then 3 years earlier, it's like one theme tropical shit.
Boring. Needs an ice theme and a fire theme. He didn't say that, but he's implying that.
And a concrete theme.
It needs like all the generic element themes. Come on, it's not a real game without the.
I watching the Dunk View, I thought that when he started talking about flood and hovering, that he was gonna go into just like, oh, he gives you this hover nozzle and you could just kind of like ignore the entire level. And I thought he was gonna go down the road of flood breaks the game, it's shit.
Well, he sort of did be like, you could just use flood and like get over obstacles, or he put it in a way like it gives you a big advantage, but like not in a negative way.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, and he was just talking about like how the game gives you so many tools to just do whatever. Like, here's a sandbox, and that's kind of how speedrunners look at it.
As far as movement, yeah,
I liked it. I didn't think it was like particularly funny. I don't remember laughing.
Yeah, I only watched it once.
Yeah,
it wasn't as funny as his Half-Life Alex video.
Dude, I always watch. I love Donkey. Donkey's great.
Yeah, he's kind of hit and miss for me. Like, his good videos are really good, and his worst ones are kind of meh.
Yeah, sure. But
those Donkey toys, though.
Yeah, those Donkey toys. I'll probably rewatch the Dunk View just to like get more of a solidified.
I should have watched it more than once to talk about on the podcast.
Yeah, I totally forgot about it until like just this second when I was just like, oh, should we talk about that? It's like, I guess we should talk about it.
It is kind of sad that I feel like we can't really appreciate the soundtrack anymore, but it is a really good soundtrack.
It is a good soundtrack, but I'm
it does the Mario World thing where it remixes a central theme over and over again, but like it does it really well.
Mm-hmm.
Because like they all sound so different, but like they're the same central theme somehow.
Yeah, it's good.
Good shit, Nintendo and Iwata, rest in peace.
Everybody has their favorite Sunshine song. I like Rico a lot, and Serena. I like Outdoor Serena.
I don't know. I think that Bianca's my favorite just because of nostalgia.
Yeah, everybody has their level. That's the best. But I don't know. I would much rather listen to like any SM64 song than any SMS song, though, because I've just listened to them so much.
I don't know. 64. Well, like Jolly Roger Bay, I love that song.
Yeah, and the Bob on Battlefield and Womp's Fortress song,
and like all of them.
and well, no, they're the same song, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I thought you were like listing all off the levels.
Just like the Hazy Maze Cave song and
and
Wet
both
Dry World
song. The snow ones.
Yeah, the Bowser.
Dude, I can't list levels in that game for some reason.
Bowser in the Red Sea of the Fire Sea.
What was the first Snowman one called? Snowman's Land? That's the second one, right?
Cool Mountain.
Yeah, Cool Mountain.
CCM for the speedrunners.
Wait, CCM, that's like the upstairs one, right?
No, that's Snowman's Land.
Or that's like on the first floor.
Yeah.
I always mix up those two names.
It's Lobby.
See, if we ran 64, we'd better these names.
Oh, for sure. And I would say if I ran 64, I'd be like, I'd rather listen to any SMS song than any SM64 song. That's the difference.
But you know what game has the best soundtrack no matter if you're a runner or not?
What,
Mario
Trey?
Galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love the Mario Galaxy soundtrack, and you did a full speed walk of Super Luigi Galaxy in under 10 hours.
I did play 120 stars in one sitting of Super Luigi Galaxy.
And actually, you did it quicker than I expected you. I was impressed.
Yeah, you said my goal was going into it. Somebody was saying that last place on the leaderboard was 13 hours and like 14 minutes or something like that. And Calf's time in his OOT glitchless any % first attempt, in his first attempt of that, was 13 hours, like around the exact same time.
It was, I think it was 13:31 or no 13.
It was 13:13.
13:13. Yeah, I was like exactly the same.
And so I was just like, okay, so sub 13. That's kind of the goal. And I died a lot, and I could definitely improve it, and I got a sub 10, so that's cool. That's what I was like when I was gonna shift back to the glitchless talk, I was gonna eventually shift to the fact that I did that. So like a month ago, I did just a casual Galaxy Mario playthrough, and I talked about it on the podcast, blah blah blah, and I enjoyed it a bit. It's slow. It's so slow. But
do you enjoy Luigi more than Mario?
I don't really like Luigi is so slippery. No Galaxy runner I've ever heard. Like everybody talks about how high he can jump and he can do certain because of how far he can jump or how high he can jump. Luigi can perform skips that Mario either can't or can perform the same skips he can easier. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much all the discussion you get from Galaxy runners about Luigi versus Mario. But playing Luigi versus playing Mario, especially not like casually playing it at all, Luigi is so slippery.
Dude, I was watching you and he seemed more slippery than I remember because you were just like trying to stop and you would slide across half of an entire platform.
He's fast and he can move, but then when you try to like one of the most frustrating things about that playthrough was actually trying to stand in front of hungry Lumas in order to feed them Starbits, because Luigi, like, you would walk up to them and they would be like, "Oh, I'm fat. I need 16 Starbits, you know, and in order for you to fill me up and burst me or whatever, and
fill me up and burst me. Oh god,
yeah, and make me into a planet, bro.
That is what you do.
And running up to him and like Luigi doesn't stand still, so you like start firing Starbits, and then Luigi and you're not holding any control stick input whatsoever. He just slides out of frame, and then you're not in front of the Luma anymore, and it just stops. And then you have to go back in front of the Luma. It sucks. And
you know what I thought was annoying when I played part of Luigi Galaxy was how you lose air when you do the spinny move underwater.
Oh, that sucks.
I was like, dude, you're kind of limited underwater now.
Mario, you just shake that Wiimote for dear life. I don't remember ever being like, oh, I'm running out of air from doing this too much.
With Luigi, you run out of air pretty quickly if you're spamming it.
It's insane. But yeah, I think I might do any percent after doing the 120 star one. I had a pretty good time. I had a better time speedrunning 120 with Luigi than I did playing casual Mario 120, for sure. Which is interesting, but and I think that's the way I'm gonna do it. Well, obviously not with like the races we do, but with all these pseudo planned races we're eventually gonna do, like Twilight Princess and Echoes and all the other games we mentioned. I was sitting there going like, I kind of feel like doing a Galaxy run. And the night before, I asked if people wanted to do it like half-heartedly. I didn't think anybody wanted to do it, and much to my surprise, nobody wanted to race me in Super Mario Galaxy. Weird. And so I just...
To be fair, I don't have my copy here.
True. But also, no Sunshine Runner. I don't know.
Also, I probably still wouldn't join even if I had it.
Yeah. Nobody looks at that and goes, yeah, that's a great idea. But I had a lot more fun than I thought I was going to. And I'm probably going to try to do like some casual any percent runs.
So you're not going to get like serious about Galaxy, just like do some 1 or 2 any percents? Because I know you were trying to find a new speed game, kind of like I am, but you wanted to get something maybe a little bit shorter than 3 hours.
I don't know.
And then you just go with Galaxy.
Maybe I just wanted different, but like you say, I'm not going to try hard at Galaxy. I know there are people that do try hard Galaxy, but at the same time, I'm sitting there going like, I don't know how people would, you know?
Because you think it's fun to just go through at a brisk pace, but like grinding strats seems kind of lame for that game. Because actually, to be fair, the game does have some cool skips.
Yeah.
But the movement is kind of lame, in my opinion. But like I think the skips genuinely look cool, like when you skip entire planets and stuff.
What was the analogy we used the other month? Like
were we saying like Mario Galaxy is more like a Zelda game than any other Mario?
Yeah. Where it's just like get to a setup, do a skip.
Yeah, it's like do a triple jump in this position and you'll skip a planet or something.
Yeah. But I feel like it's a little more than that. But I had a good time doing it. I'm surprised at how good of a time I had doing it. I did almost quit near the end because I was like 20 stars away, and I was getting frustrated with one of the Garden Dome galaxies because I didn't remember exactly what to do, and I'm like, I have no idea what to do. Like, you have to light 3 torches in order to spawn an ice flower, and I was just so befuddled by what to do that I was almost quitting, and then I just pushed through, persevered.
Sub 10, that's dope.
Yeah, I'm happy.
How many places above last place is that?
My 120. I think I'm 20 from last place. I'm like 82nd out of 100 or something.
Epic gamer alert.
Yeah, and that's my first try.
After doing a full playthrough previously casually.
Yeah, and I think I'm like 80 from last place in any percent because you can submit your any percent portion of your run to.
I see.
Yeah, so I did that too. Why not?
Oh, that's right, because you got to finish the whole game before you actually do the 120 run.
You have to finish the whole game twice. You got to do any percent, beat Bowser.
Kind of lame.
Finish 120, beat Bowser again.
That's pretty lame in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like, it's weird, but it's, I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with it, but maybe if I ran the game a lot, I'd have more of an issue.
I don't know. It kind of like it treats the extra stars you do as like New Game Plus essentially.
Yeah.
When it really is the same file.
I don't know. I had a good time. It's funny to think that, like, back in the day, I would never imagine speedrunning Galaxy. Like, we talked so much.
No, you talked even more trash than I did. I'm shocked you even did this. I was always like, yeah, I'm sure I think it was fine casually. I just got bored of it kind of fast.
Yeah.
And I would probably never run it.
We definitely have shared our problems with Galaxy, and I always thought that Galaxy was, or when Odyssey came out, I thought Galaxy was going to be better than Odyssey. I think Galaxy might be a more fun speedrun for me to do, but I could be also, you know what? I might have to try another Odyssey speedrun.
But do you think that Odyssey is better casually than Galaxy?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's true.
See, that's what I think as well, but I gotta play Galaxy again to like really fully assess that.
Like, I don't know. Galaxy casually is such a slog, but maybe you have to be more casual about it. I don't know.
You're not casual enough for Mario Galaxy.
I guess not. What was it?
You see, Odyssey actually tries to somewhat reward advanced movement, whereas Galaxy, it's kind of like, yeah, just do the thing. It doesn't matter.
But at the same time, the thing's kind of cool.
Yeah, you know? And the soundtrack, Galaxy, hands down my favorite Mario soundtrack.
Yeah, I'm getting to understand that a little bit more. I do like my Dire Docks, my Jolly Roger Bay song. I do like that song.
True.
What was it? I think I might want to go back and do, because I never submitted my Odyssey speedrun when I did it, and like 2 months after the game actually came out, so late 2017. And I think I might want to try to beat that time and like 124.10. I ended up getting a 124.10, but I never submitted it. So I might try to go back and try to, since I'm now submitting all these garbage ass times to leaderboards for no, and it feels kind of nice. I'm just like, I kind of regret not submitting my Odyssey, so why not try?
Dude, your current run is like 1100th place or something, right?
Yeah, it's surprisingly bad.
There's a lot of pretty good to great runners of Odyssey.
It's surprising how, like, doesn't 124.10 not sound too bad? Like, the record's what, 57 minutes?
Yeah, right, just now? A lot of people grinded it, I guess.
It's like the fact that 124.10 ended up is over 1,000, I think, is crazy.
True. But yeah, I'm excited for actually doing some blind races. I feel like you'll have a leg up on me in terms of stamina. You've at least dipped your toe into these blind races before, and I haven't done a long stream in a while, so it could take a toll on me the first couple times for sure.
Yeah.
I'm I'm pretty confident about Twilight Princess. Quaniza thinks he could destroy everyone in Twilight Princess.
He thought he could destroy me in Ocarina of Time. So.
I feel like I know TP pretty well, but then again, I'll probably get lost in like the Sky Temple or something. Who knows?
Dude, there are so many temples. I think I only played through Twilight Princess like 3 times, maybe. So
that's a lot for someone who doesn't really like it that much.
Dude, I feel like I've talked to you about this. Like I replay things that I don't like or rewatch things that I don't like in order to understand why I don't like them.
Fair.
I do that.
But you know, I feel like we've played almost the same amount of TP now.
Maybe.
Because I didn't replay TP that many times, like probably 3 or 4 times at most.
If Quan and I ever do a Skyward Sword one, I am so screwed. I will not remember anything in that game.
I feel like actually the TP race could be pretty close, just thinking about it. Like, I don't know how overconfident Quan is, but I'm really curious to see how that goes.
Wasn't somebody saying that you'd wreck?
And that was a meme. How does anyone know how good I am at TP?
I don't know. Because you're a fan of it.
I've literally only played it casually.
I only played OOT casually.
No, yo, Trey has like some Geratim cheats or something. I don't know. Speaking of Geratim, we're going to get him eventually. Just stay tuned.
When we started the OOT race, like you're talking about starting... like me having a leg up, having dipped my toe. When we started the OOT race, I was nervous. I was treating it kind of like a sprint, but it's just eventually you get into this mode and you're like, okay, just try not to make massive mistakes. That's
I feel like that's a common thing in any long race. Like early game, you know really well, so you're like, I'm gonna try to optimize early game as much as possible. But eventually, it gets to a point where it's like, if I just do the game as intended and know where to go, I'll be fine.
Yeah. So eventually you just get comfortable and sit back and be like, all right, let's just try to do these temples as fast as possible, I guess.
But you know what I am nervous for is Metroid Prime 2 Echoes.
I don't remember anything about that game. I'm going to be honest.
You said you got 100% of the scans, right?
I did get 100% of the scans. But
I never got nearly that much.
I never replayed it. I did 100% of the scans and then put it down. I don't remember anything about it.
I would be really impressed with myself if I can even finish that game in one sitting. Because dude, it is so easy to get lost in that game.
Yeah.
And also, dude, I gotta remember remember like the 9 keys to unlock the final area?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, where the fuck are those things at?
Wait, is that in... See,
that's Metroid Prime 2. There's like... Those 9 keys you gotta find where like you gotta switch to your dark visor, then shoot a thing, then you get a key.
Oh yeah.
Those are like, do they even tell you where those are? Or do you just like search for them?
I don't remember, man.
Dude, and also, dude, some of the boss fights are actually genuinely kind of hard. I'm probably gonna die quite a bit.
We're screwed.
There's like the Boost Guardian and the fucking Amorphous guy, whatever his name was.
God, I don't remember anything about that. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes.
What else was there? There was Chica, like Chica Larva, Dark Chica. Remember that boss?
I don't.
I think it was like the Dark Torvus Bog boss or something.
The only thing I remember from Metroid Prime 2 Echoes is Dark Samus.
Oh yeah, that's iconic.
And once you got the screw attack, and you had like this big hallway to go through.
Oh, screw attack is so... Dude, the screw attack in that game, as cool as it is, it kind of reminds me of the Beyblade thing in Twilight Princess. Because it's so situational, but it's really cool when you actually use it.
Well, you can use it in regular rooms.
Yeah, okay, it's more useful than the Beyblade, but it's still like...
Beyblade sucks.
The intended usage, there's like probably only like a handful of things you gotta use it for.
Yeah, it's because it's like the last power-up you get.
Yeah, it's super late game.
Yeah. And I remember getting it and being like, oh yeah, this is a thing from Smash Brothers. And I was just like, oh yeah.
And also I think that like one of the pre-game demos, if you let like the opening cutscene run, shows the screw attack being used, if I recall correctly.
I don't know.
And I was always thinking, man, when the fuck do I unlock that? It looks so cool. And then when I finally got it, I was like, holy shit, I can do this. I'm
just really excited to maybe play Metroid Prime 2 Echoes online. That'd be so sick.
Is that a thing?
Well, with like Dolphin and stuff, maybe. I don't know.
The
I don't know
multiplayer is
anything
kind of
about
trash in that game. Not gonna lie.
I don't know anything about net play, but I remember the 2 times I played Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, it being fun as shit. Or like the multiplayer.
The multiplayer? No, I remember playing. My brother and I tried it out like split screen, and it was so bad.
It is so fun. Yeah, it's so fun.
Okay, why is it fun?
There's like these big turrets you can go into.
I think we were just like playing it the wrong way. We were just like shooting at each other, and we're like, okay, I lock onto you and just shoot you.
Yeah, that's okay. You played it wrong. You played you're
I
playing
don't think
games
we really
wrong.
explored the whole mod.
Trey, you're playing games wrong. You're watching movies wrong.
I'm doing everything wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm really. I feel like even though Twilight Princess is a longer game than Metroid Prime 2, assuming you know what you're doing in both of those games,
yeah,
the MP2 race will probably take us longer.
Oh, for
because
sure.
Dude, like, I am gonna get lost at least a few times.
I will know Twilight Princess more than Metroid Prime 2.
TP,
sure.
It's pretty easy to know where to go. Metroid Prime 2, sometimes it's like, all right, where's that fucking key I gotta get?
Like, eventually during a blind race, the difficulty of the game actually affects the run.
Yeah, once you get past like the early stuff.
Yeah, once you start forgetting where you are, you're just like, oh, I have to actually play this game genuinely now. And Twilight Princess, I know a lot of people also have this gripe, but when I played Twilight Princess when I was 14, I remember one of my biggest complaints about it was the fact that it was too easy.
Yeah, it is pretty easy.
Yeah. Got it.
But you know what? All the better for actually giving us a chance to finish the race.
True.
But yeah, other games, we'll think about other games we could possibly do as well.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're pals.
And also that's the thing is like blind races, they may seem like they're just sort of a one-off for fun thing, but that's actually the origin story of where Pac-Man World 2 came from for me. Because like I blind raced with J-Buzz that game and was from that race, like, you know, I wonder how this game actually is as a speed game, and sure enough, I got some world records, baby. Haha.
It would be cool if eventually I found a game that I really wanted to play out of doing it. Cav actually today added Quan and I, seeing if we wanted to do another OOT race today, and I was just like, I'm busy on Saturdays, but thanks for the offer. And I'd like to get Japanese, the Japanese version if we want to do it more.
Yeah, that's like a free 19 minutes or whatever.
It's insane how much time English versus JP. Like I for Sunshine, I didn't switch to Japanese for years because it was, for any percent, it only had a 12-second difference, and in 96 Shines it had 45-ish seconds difference. So I was sitting there going like, whoa, so much time. Like, especially when I got higher in 96 Shines, I was just like, it would be nice to save those 43 seconds or however many seconds. But in Ocarina of Time, you're literally just wasting 13 to 25 minutes of time just mashing text and wading through English cutscenes. And it's just like,
that's some bullshit.
It's so much time. But yeah, I have a piece of news.
Okay, let's hear it, and then I might get into my Xenoblade stuff, which is so exciting.
I need to double check if it's actually true. So I heard a rumor that Break the Record 2 is announced.
Oh shit! And that's so the first one, for those who remember it, was the big 120 star race between all the top players. Or not race. It was like 12-hour shifts of grinding runs.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Like we talked about it with Cheese. Like Cheese got the world record and then came on our podcast.
Wait, hold on. So I didn't hear about this at all. So is this one going to be online?
I don't.
Or is it far enough out where it's like not a risk to go somewhere?
See,
because for those, I mean, GDQ is online now, as we all expected it to be.
So when I say I heard it, somebody said it in my chat. Who
was it?
I don't remember who said it, but Break the Record 2.
He's just trolling you, bro.
A thing, and it was announced, and they said the game was going to be Doom Eternal.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure that's a good speed game. I just don't really care about Doom speedruns personally.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever watched a full one.
Yeah, I know like the older Dooms are good for speedrunning. I'm assuming if they're actually doing this, then the new one's probably good as well.
I found it. So Break the Record Live, the game Doom Eternal, the category no major glitches.
The best category, of course.
Doom Eternals is 2020's premier first-person shooter. So the game that came out in April. See, the cool thing about the Doom Eternal release that came out in April on the same day as Animal Crossing was.
So wasn't that March?
Was it March? Yes,
it was March 20th.
See, I don't play Animal Crossing, so I don't know the months.
I know it by heart.
But I remember when Animal Crossing was coming out and everything was coming out on the 20th, that the Doom Twitter account was a big fan of Animal Crossing. So when everybody was asking, it's like, oh, which one are you excited for? And showed 4 pictures of 4 games that weren't Animal Crossing, like Doom Guy. I don't remember the 3 other games that actually came out on March 20th. But I remember there were the 4 options on Twitter, because I look at Twitter a lot, much to my dismay. The 4 pictures were just 4 games that weren't Animal Crossing, and one of them was Doom Eternal. She's like, oh, which game are you most excited for? And then the Doom Eternal account was like, where the fuck is Animal Crossing? And I liked their I don't know, just flippant nature about and their fandom of Animal Crossing. But anyway, there's Doom Eternal. No major glitches. That's announced as the new Break the Record that's happening the 26th of July. Okay,
so I'm assuming it's online then.
I guess.
Because they're not gonna... If GDQ is going online, that's in August, then this is probably online as well.
We will be pausing... So I'm reading it from the ESAmarathon.com page.
I forgot that ESA runs those, that's right.
The main event, they will be pausing ESA Summer Online for 14 hours on July 26th. They say 26th July, but I read it like a human being. And
like they format like the European formatting?
Yeah. It's just like, on 26th July, it's like, okay.
Dude, this day, month, year elitism.
Qualified runners will be allowed to complete as many or as few runs as they need to succeed. As ever with Break the Record Live, we have a reset cutoff. The final run must begin at such and such time. Any reset behind. So it looks like it's online, and they're pausing ESA Summer Online for it on the 26th of June.
Oh, June, not July?
July.
Oh, July. Okay.
Sorry, everything just blurs together in my brain.
Those 2 months are basically the same thing.
True. But yeah, that's a thing that I heard, and now I know for
Interesting.
Sure.
Yeah, I was always wondering when that would come back, because that was one of the most successful things, probably the most successful thing ESA's ever done.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'll probably watch bits and pieces of this. I hope it's good.
Yeah, I'm actually curious how that run looks, because I saw some casual gameplay of it. It was just a lot of what you'd expect, just blowing up some zombies and shit, but I'm sure the speedrun has a lot more to offer than casual play.
Yeah, they're looking for people to enter. Even like their first place is going to get $2,500. I don't know what denomination or what country's money that is, but it's probably not Canadian. Hopefully, it's not Canadian.
Probably not
Please
Canadian.
Don't be Canadian.
Otherwise, that'd be a scam.
Dude, everything's $80 here.
Dude, how did your money get so inflated? What happened?
I don't know. Like, even I actually Trey and I's DMs. Trey will know if anything's happened to me if I go 2 days without linking him some weird shit, like either from Twitter or like a screen cap of something.
Well, not always, but like maybe.
Yeah, because I send Trey like random Twitter tweets being like lol or like this is stupid or whatever, and because I just peruse Twitter when I'm bored, and then,
as we all do.
And I posted him a screen cap of my subscribe button on Twitch now, and so fairly recently, so it was $5.99 forever, or $4.99 forever, whatever it was. It was
$4.99 here, so probably $5.99 where you are.
I think it was $5.99 for a while. It is now $6.99 in Canada for subscribing to somebody on Twitch, and I was like, oh no.
I mean, thankfully, it's so easy to get gift subs. It doesn't really matter anymore.
True, but I don't know. It's just kind of sad. Part of my, when I saw that, my heart was a little bit. There was a dip.
Well, hey, better use those Twitch Prime usages wisely.
Yeah, dude, I just set up my Twitch Prime account. I gave it to Barbarous King. I don't know who I'm going to give it to next month, but yeah, that's. I got some other things, but if you want to talk about Xenoblade, I don't have Paper to throw it to after your Xenoblade topic. So
hey, Paper.
That's
fuck you. Ruin the podcast.
Like...
All right, so I guess while we're an hour whatever in, we can acknowledge the game showing on screen right now. Maybe.
What's up, Xenoblade?
What's up, Xenoblade?
What's up, Xenoblade?
So last week I didn't have much to say about it, and I was right. I literally just started playing it.
How many hours are you in now?
It says on my file, I think I'm like maybe 70 hours in or so.
That's a fair bit.
I've been playing it like almost whenever I can, since the day it came out, which was, I think, May 29th? Mm-hmm. The Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition remake on Switch. This is my first Xenoblade ever, so I was going in totally blind. I've never seen gameplay from it before in my life, outside of using Shulk and Smash, which doesn't really count. And I guess so my initial impressions were, when like you start doing some basic battles, you're like, all right, typical JRPG stuff, seems promising. And then quickly, I gotta give a quick anecdote. One of the first cutscenes you get to, which is with like Shulk talking with Fiora, who he's known like growing up pretty much his whole life. So in this cutscene, so this is like, the year is 2020, right? And this is the definitive edition, really nice graphics, you know, just looks epic, and the environments look incredible. This cutscene has the gall to show Shulk eating a sandwich, and he's not even biting the sandwich.
Those fuckers.
He's like, he's closing his mouth near the sandwich and be like, it's so good. I love the spices in here. And I'm sitting there like, this doesn't really scream definitive to me.
Dude, it's the DE, bro.
I'm like, bro. Wait, the DE. What do you mean?
The definitive edition.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I was making it a
you mean like D definitive?
Yeah, like HD, you know, DE.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't wow me initially. I'm like, if they don't even have sandwich eating technology in this game, I don't really know what they can really do with this.
Was the sandwich disappearing?
No, it was just like a solid sandwich.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's like, dude, what the fuck is this?
It's so much better if like he's like munching on it from a distance and it's like disappearing in his hand.
Yeah. Like you would think they could at least do that, but no, just holding a sandwich.
Yeah,
sure enough.
like the Sims eating, where it's just like they're just kind of miming and it just disappears over time.
Yeah, that'd probably look even worse. But
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that cutscene didn't wow me, but you know, impressions aren't everything, because I mean, all I gotta say is like definitive, more like definitely fun game.
You're right, dude.
Yeah, am I right?
I guess. I don't know. I've never played it.
Because, you know, getting past that cutscene, getting into the story and the characters, I love the characters in this game. They feel so, they're so hashtag relatable. The characterization's done really well. The story's really good. I don't know. I can sing those praises forever. But let's see. So the combats, I have some notes here. Basically, the main gimmick of this game is that like Shulk can see the future. Because like when he gets to Monado, he gains the power to like see a vision of the future, and he knows something bad's gonna happen. So like, oh, we gotta change the future and do something good to change it. And actually the cool thing about that sort of storyline gimmick is that it actually plays a role in the combat. So when you're facing a tougher enemy, you will sometimes see like a vision, like they will do this attack in 8 seconds and it'll probably kill this person. Do something to make this not happen, probably. So
that's a good idea.
it's interesting because like you gotta use that and be like, okay, can I make him maybe like fall asleep or use a certain art to counter that? It's like a mini puzzle game within the combat, essentially. It's kind of cool.
That is cool.
And like the combat starts out pretty simple, but they always add they add on mechanics really quickly. And I will admit that like early on it was pretty overwhelming. There was like a lot going on. Like every 2 seconds they'd be like new tutorial for crafting gems, like new tutorial for affinity logs and stuff. Like what the fuck is all this stuff?
But the scratched pendant.
Yeah, like the more you play it though, the more it sort of comes together. And the way the level system works, it's kind of interesting. Basically, if you try to fight an enemy that is more than like 8 levels ahead of you, it's pretty much impossible. And I think like actually in the gameplay I recorded for this episode, I recorded like 2 hours of random gameplay about a week ago. And I think I like encounter like a hidden boss that was level 95 or something. Mm-hmm. But I think in the video I'm like level in the 50s somewhere. So basically I found him like sitting there, but I'm like, I'll mark it on my map and come back to it later. Because like you literally have no shot against that.
Yeah.
I think what it does is like the more levels ahead the enemy is, they get like you get like a big penalty to like your hit rate or something. Okay. And if they're like maybe 8 levels ahead of you, your hit rate's just so bad you just miss constantly.
So is it a similar like combat system as Fire Emblem? Because I did watch
not at all.
Of that with the hit rate thing. The hit rate percentage.
It's totally well, yeah, the hit rate thing. Hit rates are a thing, but they don't work the same way as in Fire Emblem. And also Fire Emblem is turn-based. This game is like real-time strategy in a sense.
Sure.
So like combat-wise, totally different. Mm-hmm. But like it has like a similar stats. Like it has like strength and it has like auto attack minimum and maximum. Because you're like auto attacking when you're not using one of your arts. And yeah, there's all kinds of stats. Some of them mirror Fire Emblem. Some of them are kind of unique. Like agility, I think, helps you with avoidance or something.
That makes sense.
What other notes do I have? So, you know, as good as this game is, I do have like some negative aspects aside from the sandwich thing.
Okay.
So let's see.
I didn't like that sandwich cutscene. 8 out of 10.
Yeah, the sandwich cutscene. It kind of put a bad taste in my mouth, but actually, in a way, the sandwich was kind of woke because it's sort of like set my expectations lower than it probably should have been. Mm-hmm. It brought me back down to earth with my huge expectations when I first started playing it. I'm like, maybe it's not so good. But now it's like, oh wow, it's actually amazing. So never mind. So I guess like one of my complaints is that the way money works kind of reminds me of my experience with New Horizons, Animal Crossing, in that like money very quickly becomes totally irrelevant.
Yeah.
So you get money for doing side quests, and you're like constantly getting items which you can sell if you want to. And you just accumulate so much money so quickly, it's actually ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So you can pretty much just like buy whatever you want. And I don't know, the money could have been a little more scarce than it is. Because like you quickly rack up like $1 million. It's like, okay, well I can just buy whatever I want. And it kind of reminds me of how like I played AC and like I abused turnips quite a bit. And I quickly got like 10 million bells and was like, well, now I can just buy whatever I want. Now it's not as fun.
Was there a choice of difficulty at the start of the game?
So there is no difficulty. It's sort of like a one set thing. But I think one thing that Definitive Edition added was there's a thing called Expert Mode. But it's pretty poorly named because they call it Expert Mode. But essentially it's just like selecting the level that your characters are at. Like, so let's say like your characters are level 30-ish. You can set them to like 25 or any level you want like below 30. and you can like artificially make battles harder if you want to.
Oh, okay.
But the weird thing about it is that you can actually easily abuse this to just like get more experience easily.
Okay.
Because let's say like you're going through enemies of roughly the same experience, or no, let's say like you're going to an area where you're like way over leveled and just like almost one-shotting everything. You could just like turn on expert mode and then still grind experience on weak enemies if you want to. So it's like technically the battles are harder, but it's still pretty easy and you're just like grinding experience. So I don't know if expert mode is the right word for that. It's more just like selecting what level you want to be mode or something.
Okay.
But I see what they're going for. It's actually it's a good addition because I mean your level just always goes up, and maybe you want to like go back and try to get an achievement that's tied to a certain enemy type or some shit. Or I don't know, it's hard to explain, but
yeah.
There is an achievement for defeating like an impossible enemy, quote unquote, which I think is one that's like if you defeat an enemy like 10 levels above you, which I've still never managed to do. Like you can't even hardly hit enemies that are that high level.
Mm.
So there's probably like some cheese you got to abuse, or like some certain stat you got to like really increase to like increase the hit rate. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's interesting with like a not turn-based combat game having a hit rate thing. I'm fascinated by that.
Yeah, it's like when you're not using arts, you're like auto attacking constantly. Mm-hmm. And as long as you're like pretty even with the enemy, you're probably always going to hit. But like as their level goes higher, you're probably never going to hit them. So I guess that's their way of like making sure you don't breeze your way through higher level enemies whenever you want.
I feel like the money not being an issue is like prevalent in a lot of those. Like we were playing through OOT with our glitchless run. The money becomes irrelevant really fast.
Yeah, it's really hard to balance money. Actually, yeah. I think Fire Emblem balances money pretty well because you only ever get a finite number of resources as you're playing through the game. Mm-hmm. So there's no way to really grind money, at least in the ones that I've played. So some games get it right. This one, not so much, but I mean, it's fine. You can just buy whatever you want. But one thing that I noticed is that you very quickly pick up on the pattern of how side quests are given out to you.
Oh, yeah, side quests.
So there are many, many side quests in this game. Like there are several dozen per area as you find them.
Uh-huh.
And there's always that one dude in each area, at least one dude, who, and I don't know why they made it this way, but there's always like 1 to 5 dudes in each area where they give you a quest where it's like, oh, could you defeat this monster for me? Or like, defeat 3 of this type of monster for me. You're like, okay, accept the quest, do it. But they will always have like 3 or 4 quests for you, but they don't give you them all at once. They like give you it one by one. So literally you talk to them once, get the first monster kill quest you gotta do. You talk to them again, get the next one, talk to them again, get the next one. And I'm like, why not just give me all these things at once? Why do I gotta talk to you like 4 times? So that was kind of weird, but again, like these complaints are like super minor, but just kind of weird decisions on their part. Because it's like, why would you decide like, oh, I want to do these quests where I defeat these enemies, but not this one. I don't want to do that one.
See, you were talking to me early on about the Goron Spice Fluff missions.
Mm-hmm.
And so how has that gotten? Like, you acknowledge that they existed early on. I don't think you've done like a lot of complaining about that.
It does get a bit Goron spicy in this game, I will admit.
Goron spicy, I like it.
If we want to call it that. Because there are some quests where it's like, oh, could you like, I lost my thing, could you get it? And then it's like, you see it on the map and you just go to it and get it and bring it back to him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of meh. But there's not too many of those. I think that most of the quests involve either like talking to other people to like raise affinity with certain people, or just like monster quests. And the monster quests are like whatever, because you can like, if you find that person who dishes out the monster quest to you, like after talking to him 3 or 4 times, you're gonna encounter those monsters in that playthrough regardless, so it's like you can just do it whenever you want.
Makes sense.
So those are like whatever, but then I just don't understand why the person doesn't give you them all at once, and why it's like, oh, talk to me once and get this one monster quest. Talk to me again, get another one. It's like, why is that?
Is it like the weapon connoisseur mission in Breath of the Wild, or is it just stupid annoying for no reason?
I don't remember that. Which one is that?
The weapon connoisseur one is the one where you bring the weapon to the kid, and then he's just like, "Oh, the traveler's sword! Oh, the ancient weapon!"
Okay, I will admit there are a couple instances of that in the game.
Yeah,
like there's one dude I'm thinking of. There's like another race. So like the humans in the game are called Homs, like H-O-M-E or H-O-M-S. Then there's another race called like the Napon, which one of your party members actually is a Napon named Riki. I love Riki, by the way. He's so cute. But there's like a Napon NPC in like this swamp area, I think it was, who you like got to go back to and do like a quest over and over again. He probably has like 10 quests for you. So it's kind of similar with that guy, but they don't do that too much at least.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, other than that, I love like sort of the puzzle element of fighting with like they call it vision tags when you see like the future. That's pretty dope. Also, similar to the thing you brought up with Majora's Mask, how like the mask that you pick up sort of represent like, oh, I know where I got this one, like the bunny ears came from that chicken thing or whatever.
Yes, it did come from that chicken thing.
In a sense, you kind of have that same thing in this game, where when you defeat a certain boss in an area, there's like a piece, like a key set piece from a cutscene tied to that boss will like always be there when you go back to it.
Okay.
Like cool. For example, like there's like a mines area where you defeat this dude, and then like I think after you defeat him, like Shulk jumps into like this crane and like knocks him off with his arm, like the arm of the crane. Mm-hmm. And when you go back there, like that crane is always there. It's like it reminds you, oh yeah, that was where that cutscene happened, where that boss fight was. That was cool. So stuff like that, where like the world actually changes as you do things in the game in a small way.
That's sick.
And I guess another like complaint that actually, I think I know why they did it, was that like the worlds are huge, and they make sure you know that, because a lot of times you'll be like running through an area and it's mostly empty, but you're just gonna like run for like a minute straight.
Yeah. And
it's like, why can't I either A, just run faster, or B, just make this pathway not so long, right?
Well, don't you get like power-ups for speed?
You can. Actually, there are gems. So like the key thing, like there's like gem crafting and all this stuff you can do. There's gems you can put on like your armor or your weapon, which can grant you stuff like bonus strength or HP up or agility up, stuff like that. And there are gems for movement speed. But the thing is, and like, okay, it's like, sure, I can equip this movement plus this movement 3 thing or whatever, and get like plus 10% movement speed. Like that's kind of cool. But the problem with that is that it's super unoptimal for battling. Because like, why would you opt to like make your movement speed 25% faster, which doesn't help for battle at all? It's purely for traversing the area, when like you could just have gems on you which actually help you in combat.
Yeah.
It's like a waste of gem space. Like, it's cool you get the option, but I feel like unless you're like in super late game, there's no reason to not have gems on you that actually help in combat.
So can you switch the gems at any time?
Yes, you can, but the thing is, it's kind of a pain to do it all the time.
Yeah, it's like my my argument for the outfits that give you special abilities in Breath of the Wild. It's just like so much of a hassle to put on my Zora outfit in order to go up a waterfall. Just like
I could put these gems on when I'm exploring a new area and just like move 30% faster if I want to, but then I'm making the fights harder for me, so it's like a trade-off.
Yeah.
But then you could say, oh, well, just put them on when you clear out an area and like the enemies are free. Well, at that point, you've already unlocked like the full map of the area, and you can just like quick travel somewhere.
Okay.
So I don't know. As cool as the gems are having them, I just never use them personally.
Fair.
Because I'd rather have bonus strength or bonus ether or bonus anything that helps in combat.
I totally get that. I totally get that.
I guess, okay, one thing you could do is like when you equip certain gems to a certain piece of armor or weapon or whatnot, the gems stay on that thing. So I guess I could have like a dedicated fast movements armor set if I wanted to. That'd probably save some time with trading out armor and gems and stuff, but I never bothered with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate having to switch out the outfits in Breath of the Wild, so I kind of understand you with the gem thing.
And the thing is, like, I don't really mind the extended running across long corridor stuff if the environment looks really cool. And to be fair, the environments in this game are pretty breathtaking a lot of the time. Like, they look really dope.
Okay.
Like, very desktop screen-esque, as you could say.
The Witness-esque?
The Witness-esque, except even better than that.
Really? Better than The Witness?
There's like these huge stone structures and like crazy backgrounds and shit going on.
Dude, but in The Witness you can look anywhere and it's a screen grab.
The Witness looks cool, but like this game's like a whole new level.
Oh, okay. All
especially in the definitive edition. HD graphics.
DE.
Yeah, but there are some areas which aren't as showy if you're in like a cave or like a mine area. Where I think like in the mine level, I was quickly getting kind of tired of like running along just like this huge hallway where there's nothing to look at. It's like, okay, I could just, what's the point of this? Like I get it. It's supposed to be a big, like a huge ether mine, so it makes sense story-wise, but like let me just run faster or something, please.
See, that's why they made all of Sunshine tropical themed, but like different things of tropical. Like if they had a mine level, that'd be super boring, you know?
True.
But like SM64 was forced to have like Hazy Maze Cave, you know? That's their mine level or their sewer level,
dude,
you know?
Sunshine was kind of woke because typically like the more outdoorsy tropical stages in Xenoblade are the more pretty looking ones. So what if just every level in Sunshine is just trying to be as breathtaking as possible for GameCube standards?
I think that literally the reason they went, hey, let's make everything a tropical theme. They went, hey, we made water look really good. Let's just use this everywhere.
Look how good this water looks here and here and here.
Yeah. Just like, oh man, this water looks amazing. It's gonna look amazing for 20 more years. we're just gonna do a tropical theme game.
It still looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
I guess so. One thing they have to like sort of remedy the scale problem with this game, if it even is a problem, is there is an auto run feature where you can tap D-pad up and it will like automatically run in a straight line for you without doing anything.
Okay.
And I'll use that sometimes to like run in a straight line, like look around the scenery if I want to.
Cool.
Because it is worth looking around this game. There is some cool stuff to see in the background and all that. But yeah, still playing through it. I believe this footage I'm showing is from, I was like, so there's like the two huge land masses people are living on, like the Bionis and the Mechonis. You're from the Bionis, but like the Mechonis is attacking you. But you learn their motivation later on. It's like not all what it seems. The story takes twists and turns you would never even expect. It's pretty nuts.
You're making up words.
No, I'm not.
Bionis and Mechonis.
I mean, like, come on, you gotta make them up. Okay. I mean, like, fucking, like, Nopon, like, they're all made up words.
I looked up a picture of the Nopon. I've seen them before. They're weird fat bunnies.
Yeah, they're cute as hell.
Hell.
But yeah,
right, interrupt. But you made up words. I had to call you.
Yeah, let's just say, like, it's one of those games where you always feel like, okay, or there were like at least 3 times where I was thinking, surely this is like the final area. This feels so final to me. It's just like everything's leading up to this one moment. This feels so like this has to be the end of the game, right? But then no, like you beat that boss and it opens up like a whole new can of worms. Like, oh shit, we're not even like close yet.
Is there like a big boss guy? Like, is there a big antagonist figure?
It's complicated. It's very complicated.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
It initially, yes, like pretty early game, your initial like antagonist is called Metal Face. He was like this evil mechon with a metal face. I know, it's super creative.
Yeah, that sounds dope.
Like your initial motivation is like, oh, I have the Monado now, I must destroy Metal Face. I'm like, okay, that's such an exciting story, wow. But dude, it goes like so much more deep than that. Like people, there's a pretty crazy twist. I don't know, dude. I wish I could like give like a scale of what percent through the game it is, but I haven't even finished the game yet, so I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a pretty crazy twist, and then an even crazier one, like 30 hours after that. Like one, like a person who you are like 100% sure is a good guy or a good person.
Ooh.
Like dude, it's nuts. Like I don't want to spoil anything, but the story is definitely hooking me. Like the characters, the voice acting is phenomenal. It's all British sounding, but it's really, really good. I don't know why it'd be a deterrent. If anything, British voices sound better than American ones, so it's probably better.
Is it better than Zelda in Breath of the Wild?
Better than Zelda in Breath of the Wild, by far.
Pog. All right.
Okay, dude, Zelda in Breath of the Wild, it's like that bitchy British tone. But in this game, it's like a tasteful British tone. It's like it's...
Oh, it's tasteful.
You actually like respect these people.
Oh.
I don't know. Zelda in Breath of the Wild, I'm not a fan of.
Breath of the Wild 2, you get to play Zelda?
I'm hyped for Breath of the Wild 2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm enjoying this game a lot. To sort of wrap this up, I'm excited to see how much longer I have in the main story. But there's still like many side quests I have yet to do. I've been tackling like a decent amount of side quests as I go to like make sure I'm not just doing it all at once in the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good thing I have been, because actually, and I was almost convinced that like the boss levels scale perfectly to what your level is. But actually, I'm pretty sure that I just happen to be the perfect level whenever I get somewhere, just by coincidence. Like I just like play like the perfect amount of side quest stuff to like be just where I want to be. So I guess
that's good game design.
That's the cool thing about this game is like there's really no grinding required. Like as long as you do like a little bit of side quest stuff, you should never have to grind ever. So that is one important aspect of RPGs, is the less grinding required, the better. And actually, one final cool thing about the game is that certain enemies, like when you're in an area you're supposed to be in, pretty much 95% of enemies are like around that level that you're at. But there is the occasional like just stupid high enemy levels just hanging around.
Yeah.
Like let's say like everyone's level 20 or so, you'll encounter like a random like level 80 spider. You're like, what the fuck? And so actually it's cool because some enemies will not attack you if they see you, but there are some that will attack if they see you. It's like denoted by like a little eye icon.
Mm-hmm.
And there are like some sort of stealth parts of the game where it's like, okay, there's like these level 80 spiders that if they see you, they start attacking you. So you gotta like run around them. But then when you go back to that part later, when you are level 80, they become regular enemies. So it's kind of cool in that way. It's like, oh, what was a stealth thing? It's like you have no shot against these dudes, becomes just a regular old battle because you get so high level.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's well done. I like how they mixed in other levels apart from just, well, you're should be around this benchmark, so every enemy just happens to be this level, which would be pretty unrealistic. So as realistic as this game is, which it's not, it's a video game. So. Dude,
the Napon or the Napon, I don't know. Yep. They seem pretty realistic. IMO.
Oh yeah, the fucking
the bunny, the
Kirby,
the oversized
Kirby bunny looking asses.
Yeah, the Kirby bunny looking ass.
I don't even know. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I think I'll finish. I'm assuming I'm close to the end of the game at this point. I don't even know. Nuts.
You'll finish it up.
I'll finish it up.
Great.
Eventually.
And then you'll give a ranking out of 10, or a number out of 10.
My official ranking out of 10, yes.
The ranking out of 10. Yeah. So when are you going to do your semi-blind, glitchless blind run?
Oh god.
Or semi-blind run or whatever.
In this game, I think if I did like a second playthrough, I tried to go as fast as I could.
Yeah.
Assuming I'm close to finishing, it would take at least 60 hours probably.
That's a long time.
But I mean, you got to expect these kind of games to be long. These JRPGs always are.
After Three Houses came out, we watched the speedrun for Three Houses. Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Yeah,
and it was
the
all
GDQ
menu.
one.
It was just all menu. And
yeah, see, this game, it's a lot more action-y than menu-y.
Okay. That was my question.
Considering that the fights are actually in real time, and you're making like real-time decisions, apart from, of course, like the gimmick of, oh, here's what will attack you in 8 seconds, do something to prevent it.
See, I never knew until like the Smash Ultimate release trailer where Shulk sees the future and it does ultimately nothing because he's just like, oh, it's gonna hit us, and then it just hits him, and then he's just like, oh,
dude, I gotta watch that trailer again now, knowing what the game's about.
Well, yeah, so you know that he sees the future at that point, but I never knew that his like counter was, oh, he sees the future, you know?
Yeah, it's like it's literally in the gameplay.
Yeah, it's weird.
It gets pretty philosophical too. There's actually like sort of like an overall theme of like free will versus determinism. Like you constantly question like, what if in real life our fates are predetermined unless we could see the future? What? This is some like I'm 14, this is deep type shit, but I mean it's something to think about. Like, do we have free will, Sid?
I think we have free will.
If
you're thinking about free will.
Now listen, were we fated to make this podcast and it wasn't our decision to make it?
No, it was Emo's decision to make it. So
okay, so Emo determines our fate, got it.
We're all living in Emo's world.
It's true.
He does have most of the world records in Mario Kart Double Dash now, so it makes sense.
Oh yeah, he officially has more than Goomba. Quick Double Dash update for you.
Goomba's pissed.
Raging,
maybe.
Dude.
I don't actually know if he's pissed.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I think we wrap it up here.
Oh yeah, I have like a couple other things I could talk about, but I'm cool with pushing it.
Okay, we will save it for possibly our probably guest episode next week.
Yay! I like guests.
Woo!
Woo!
Wonder who it'll be. Well, yeah, I hope you enjoyed listening to this one. Again, we are on Spotify and Google Play. If you would rather not watch me play Xenoblade during these, or whatever gameplay we show on here, it's always going to be different each time.
Who knows, man? I'm
going to try to make it a different game every single time. And when we have nothing, it'll just be Sunshine.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, I speedrun. Oh, I did maybe Galaxy one week?
It's like, fuck, I did Sunshine. Here's Pac-Man. Fuck it.
Fuck, I did Sunshine. Here's Pac-Man.
But yeah, that's going to be it for me. Have a good day.
Yeah, bye everybody. Thanks for hanging.
Peace.